Okay, and welcome back to Bullseye Steve. We got us a new project, and you can see she's a little bit been treated rough. It's a New England 12 gauge 3-inch bore. Looks like she's been riding in the back of a pickup truck, and I can't tell if that's scratches from, I know this is almost at a gouge, but the wood sticks out past the receiver here. I'd like this to be seamless and smoothless. Minor things with the barrel. As you can see, you got, I think it was in its gun rack because I saw one bad rusty spot somewhere on this barrel. Let me stop it and I'll find it and I'll show it to you. Okay, I don't know if it's quite clear, but it's little surface rust right there. It's almost gotten to the point to where it's into the metal pretty good, but I think I can say that. I'll hit it with some steel wool. As you can see, that's my finger. That makes me believe this was in a rack hanging upside down or something, and I'm going to completely disassemble this thing. The barrel was pretty much never been cleaned out. I looked into the barrel. I picked this up pretty reasonable. The screw's a little rusty. Fix that. It was loose. It being loose like that, I don't much care. The workmanship inside there where they routed it out looks awful. Chunks of splinters of wood there. I'm gonna put some Loctite on this screw because I don't like to take these apart once I reassemble them and oil it down. But it'll be the not so permanent Loctite. And I don't know if I can show the inside of this barrel. Let me get a light. I was kind of worried I wouldn't have a long enough extension for this one, but I do. And it takes a 9/16, by the way. And just what I was afraid of. There's rust on the end of the screw or the bolt. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get it out. As long as she keeps coming, I'll keep trying. I guess that's what she says. First time I've ever taken one of these New England shotguns apart. doggone thing must be halfway through the wood. Goodness gracious. She's loosening up a little. I wonder if they've had that Loctite on this thing. Man, that's a doggone workout just doing this. I think I can turn the thing behind now, yeah. Hopefully it bolt comes out. How deep was you in there, baby? Still not got here. There we go. Man. I don't see any Loctite material, just wood and that rust. You see that rust right there. So I'm hoping I don't have a bunch of, I do have rust down inside here. I have to bore that out. Alright. I'll clean that up and oil it down to where we don't have any more problems with the rust issue, and I'll definitely put some Loctite on this because I don't want it backing out of that. That'd be a horrible thing to have happen. If that ejector, I think that ejector might be no, it's free. I think that ejector might be stuck why it made all these scratches on this receiver, but it's moving. But I'll take care of that and I'll oil it up. Let's get to the next thing. Just a little hint for you guys that do have these shotguns, and next time you break yours down to clean it, and or even just removing the butt plate, if you will take, like this piece I just removed here, this is a piece of plastic. They could have machined that out of metal and made that a really nice piece, or brass, one or the other. That would have been a pretty piece to put on it. I want you to look at the dirt, but you can put your initials right here, the date Don't never put your social security number on anything. I had people do that before, that put their social security number. Write your name across the stock butt plate right through here. Nothing else. On this bolt, there's plenty of room in there between the end of the butt on this gun. Where that goes down in there, you can roll up a note, stick it in there, and list your name on it, your address, name of your rifle, serial number. Put all that on there and stick it in here. That's in case you never want to write your serial number down and keep it for your records. I don't know why nobody would do that, but some people do. And I've worked many a burglaries where people never have the serial numbers through their guns. The next question I'll ask them is, well, did you have any identifying characteristics? That could be an identifying characteristic, but how many times are you going to see a butt plate or the stock on a gun with scratches on it like that? I mean, it has to be something identifiable. Say like it had a crack that's repaired and you can still see the crack. That would be something that could identify it. A picture like I'm going to put on this one, that'd be something that can identify it. Just little hints that will help you retain your property if it ever gets stolen and sent to the pawn shop. Because believe it or not, these pawn shop dealers, the responsible ones, will take these apart and inspect them and check to see if there's any identification marks, because I bet you 99% of the time that I worked a burglary where a gun was stolen, they could not give me the serial number to that gun because they didn't record it. And then they have to go back and remember where they bought that gun from. If they bought that gun from a reputable store, they will have that serial number on file. They have to keep them. If they bought it from an individual, you have to find out from that individual who he bought it from. And I've seen guns go through 10 to 15 different hands before it was able to be tracked down to where it was originally bought from. So that's my rant and raving over somebody not being responsible for recording their serial numbers. Even on the butt plate, you can engrave your initials or something there. Just something that will help identify your gun. Okay guys, the one thing that I was telling you about that I'm going to do with this gun. You saw me take this 4-end piece off once, and I went ahead and put the screws back in it to hold it in place. But you see how this edge just stops right there with the wood? To me, I don't like that. See, it's smooth right here. And there's no chance of dirt or anything hiding in the corners and building up. But there is right here. Like I can get, let's see if I take my little knife here and scrape out, show you what I'm talking about. There, see the end of that knife right there. I don't particularly care for that stuff. But I'm gonna try to take my pencil and mark this down to where it's smooth on there. Well, that don't look like it's gonna work. Let's see if I can get my X-Acto knife. I want to have a smooth transition from wood to, in this case, this polymer. And you can really see the buildup right here on the bottom where the hands are. And I want to smooth this out. Well, I got a lot of grime on that one. I hate that. But that's just my particulars when I got a rifle or shotgun that's, to me, it's just, it could be better quality workmanship than that. Take my time so I don't cut myself. I just want to mark where the wood and the polymer piece come together. Now I'll take that off and see if I can see my marks I made all the way around it. That way when I'm sanding it down to where there's no gap, or not a gap, I guess it would be a ledge. Yeah, you see that? I want to be smoothing all this back. I don't like this. The angle parts right here, I want a smooth transition. And I might, on this end, just smooth this up some. I don't want to get rid of that groove there. I just want to enhance it a little bit. And the top part here, I'm just going to lightly sand it with some probably 1000 grit just to get the dirt and grime off of it. And I've got a stain right here to deal with. And I'm definitely going to, matter of fact, I'm going to take care of that right now. To me, that's just trashy looking. Of course, I'll be smoothing this up some with a little bit of sandpaper. You guys can see what I'm doing here. It's just where they've never bothered to clean it out after it's routed. They just slapped it together and this wood got compressed down into the sides of it where the barrel was. And I know they're just trying to save money, but I'd say if you try to put out a quality piece of equipment, people will probably pay more for your craftsmanship. There's a hump right there where they've smashed it down. I want all that out of there. It's almost like a dental hygienist trying to clean out a patient's mouth, I guess. Look at all that crap I just took out of there. Doesn't that look a lot nicer? I was sanding that down a little bit, and I've got a little spot right. Let me turn my other light. I forgot to go. Sorry about that. I was trying to turn my other light on up here and somehow kicked Siri on and she cut my camera off. But stuff like that, I don't know, I guess it's just a pet peeve. They've even got it like that on the screw hole where they drilled it out. That's a lot nicer though. And this is about 80 grit. I mean, there's nothing smooth on the inside of this. And the way I see it, if this doesn't fit snugly up to your barrel, then there's going to be movement in there. And we don't need that. You know, it is a shotgun, but still yet. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this. I want to put the bolt back in here to at least hold it. So let me turn you off. All right, I got it back on. For some reason, it's like the last inch or so right in here, that wood is threaded to the receiver here with that bolt. It's all the same. And I've never seen that. I've always had it where you drop it in and it went to an insert set, you know, where it stops, and that's where the screws catches a hold of the metal. I've never seen the woods have threads than you thread on this. That's different for me. you guys, I'm probably not going to show all of me doing this. I'm probably going to do the rest of this in fast motion so you don't have to see it. Just like that, through the magic television. Now we can see the line where we're going to sand down to, all the way around. The reason why I like doing this is because if you're going to, shove your gun in behind your seat or whatever, it doesn't have a lip or something to hang on to it or catch on to it and gouge out a big piece of wood. That's the biggest reason why I like doing that. I think it looks better. I'm just really worried about this one spot right here. I don't know if that's like wood putty or what. It may just be a deformity of the wood. Okay, what I'm seeing is it looks like it's excess stain. Maybe where it's dripped down or something like that. There is like kind of like a little wavy knot right there. Let's start sanding it down. I'll know more. But that right there already feels and smoothed out a lot better than it looked. So let me get going on that. Okay guys, I've got it sanded down with getting all the stain off of it. The butt plate matches up real nice with the wood now. And I'll take, this is 180 grit. And I'll take a 220 and 1500 and I'll polish up the plastic. But I've got it looking pretty smooth. That one rub spot I had on the side of the stock was right here. It's really smooth. It's mostly a dark spot now. That's what happens when you get that wood oil prints or finger oil and whatever dirt will go in there and they'll stain that wood, and it's really hard to get it out. But let me show you this. After a lot of trial and error, placing this up here on here. Hold it up straight now. That's a lot better finish right there. I still got a little bit more to take off right here. It's still a little bit high, but it's not got a high spot on the sides of it now where it can catch onto anything and rip out a chunk of wood. That's the biggest reason why I like getting that down to the edge of the metal. I'm using a foam block, by the way. Get me into these hard to reach spots. And this spot right over here where I thought was going to be some damage, it turns out it's actually a pretty piece of granary right in here. So I didn't do too bad on that either. I want to try to keep my sharp line right here on the grip. I'll turn you on when I get something else more exciting to talk about. I know y'all don't want to see me sitting here sanding. Went through rubbing it down with the 180. She's feeling pretty smooth. Looking good. Don't feel any dings or scratches. Right in here's still a little bit rough. Do this part first because I'm going to put my artistic life into drawing my drum. I've got to look and see what kind of picture I want. Thought about putting Amos on here, but Amos is not a hunting dog. Alright, that's pretty smooth. Let me see if I can find some 1500. That'll be my last one. Couldn't find any 1500. Thought I had some, so I got some 400, which is a little smoother. I'll work with it for a while. Get back with you guys. Show you what I've done with this now. Clean this up. I've taken this old steel brush and I've scraped it back and forth inside these grooves to get all that cleaned up, and it's left it really shiny on the inside. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but it's taking out all that dirt. I'm just barely doing this so it doesn't leave any deep scratches, and then I'm going to go over it with some 4/0 steel wool, try to smooth it up. I took the gouges out of the end pieces with some 400 sandpaper, and I'm gonna steel wool the sides of it. Maybe it's shining it up some, just barely doing that. I'm gonna take some steel wool and finish that up. Okay, that piece is finished. No more worries about that piece. Set it over to the side. I'm going to work on this little polymer piece here and see if I can't get it cleaned up. Now I got this piece all cleaned up, smooth. Got a lot of dirt in it. That's done. I'm going to do the little wood screws. Put that out of the way so it don't damage it. Try to get all this little rust out of these screw heads. Sides. out in. Now that I got all my little screws and bolts and stuff all cleaned up, I'm going to take some of this painter's tape. I'm going to tape these together so there's no losing. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I've got them all taped together separately with tape, and I know all of that hardware is together and I don't have to worry about it going anywhere. That's done. Now it's barrel time. Good morning, guys. It's the next day. The coffee's good and hot. I'm gonna put you on fast forward, then we'll be on to something else. Thickest part of the barrel with the sandpaper and smooth this out. Now it fits in there tight, and you have to pull it off. So that's good. There's no movement or anything. Now we can get started on sanding the rest of it down. And I don't want to bore you with that, guys, so I'm going to start by doing the same thing we done last time. Probably going to put you on fast forward. Yep. Had a few little dings I had to work on there. Well, guys, I've got it all sanded down, and I'll smooth it up with some lighter sandpaper. Okay. I got this sanded down where there's no edges protruding from it. I smooth this side down just a little bit to try to stop any of that from chipping, and I think I'm going to leave the inside of this alone because I don't want too much wood coming out of it. It's pretty snug to the barrel. You can see right here where I took a little bit more off, and I just don't believe this ever was that snug to the barrel because I had all that built up wood around here when they routed it out, and it had a lot of gaps. So on to the next problem. Anyway, I was going to show you it centered up, how smooth it is. I'm going to do a little bit more sanding, but I just want this even with a piece of plastic. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to machine me a piece of brass. Maybe that would be nice to put there. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, I've been having problems with my camera going on and off. Reset it. See if that does the trick. As you can tell, I've got all this sanded down. Had some scratches in it. And I think I'm going to use a kind of a gray stain, and you guys let me know what you think about it. I'm smoothing it out now with some 400. It's got a pretty decent wood grain in it. I hope it shows up good. But I've got this piece and this piece matched up pretty good where there's no sharp edges hanging off the sides of it. Excuse me. I have violent sneezes. And this allergy season is not helping me at all. When I get some more of this done, I'll get back with you. We'll talk about our next step. Yes, you see correctly. I'm going to attach this to the inside of that barrel and I'm going to give it hell. See if we can't get that thing to come clean. See what I've got here. Oh, this was stuck out. Well, I'm gonna get a stainless steel. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try to show you the difference inside this barrel now. As you can see, she's almost a mirror inside there. Still got just a wee bit of lead buildup. I can get up closer to the light. There we go. It's not focused in as good as I'd like it to be. But you can barely make out. It's just. I'm going to show you what I used to clean it out. You know I used the drill and the extension rods. I got a what was that, 30-06 cleaning rod and wrapped stainless steel around it. And you can see the crud that's come off my fingers right here. Just look at that. That's what I cleaned it with. Let me wipe my hands off and I'll show you. The only cleaning agent or solvent or whatever you want to use for your guns, this is all I use. It's never let me down. It's easy to clean. That stuff's worth its money. I've had that one jar now going on probably 8 or 9 years. But I'll use that and steel wool to clean the outside of all these metal parts and stuff. And I'm gonna have this barrel on the outside looking as good as I did on the inside. So I'll be back with you. Guys, I took the oil and steel wool to the barrel. I thought I was going to have to re-blue it from where I saw that rust, but she came off, and let me find it again. I only had like very light spot right there. I think it'll pass muster. Just keep an eye on it and keep some oil on it, and I believe she'll be fine. Keep the fingerprints off of it. Wipe her down. We'll call that part done. Okay, I'll take a little bit of the Z-Max and just dab it on this right here, the receiver. Let it soak in a little bit. I'm going to use my brass brush. Try to remove the rust and dirt buildup on the side and see how that does. I'm trying to leave the bluing on there, so I don't want to go too hard with it. It was really nasty. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. This is why I love this Z-Max stuff. And you'll see, look at my finger there, I'm gonna get a clean rag. Look at that. Still got a lot more to go, but you can see the difference on it already. Back side to the front. Get that in there. Long way to go, but get back with you. Hey guys, got this thing pretty clean. I'm gonna try to get the light to show it to you. I don't know if you can look down inside there or not and see it, but she is not bad down there. It was just a little dirty, so I don't see any need taking it apart. Had a little surface rust right here on my thumb release, and down inside here, it had a lot of dirt and dust. I think what they done was they took this thing and shot it several times, never cleaned it out, and got a lot of dirt and dust built up in there. And it was just because I've used brushes and everything else and go in there, and I thought a lot of that dirt is just the rough casting down in the bottom of that. They don't polish the inside of these things like the outside. So I didn't see any need of taking this apart, which I'm glad I didn't now. I'm gonna put a little oil down inside of it on the mechanism so they're good and lubricated. And I really don't care for the plastic parts. I'm gonna try to buff this up a little bit with a steel wool, but she got a little bit of nicks on the side of it, but I think other than that it's going to look okay. Whoever owned the gun before I did, I don't just think they really cared anything about it or knew anything about keeping the gun clean or anything. But I was really shocked with the barrel. When I ran that brush down in there, the barrel looked like it had no shine to it at all. And I showed you what it looked like earlier, and so I'm good with the barrel. It looks good. The receiver here looks good. And a little pitting right here where I know this has got to be some sort of fingerprint or something like that was never wiped off, because it's just starting to get a little bit of pitting right there. And I don't want to go too deep on it because I'm afraid I'll get rid of this tiger stripe bluing on here. And I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave it just like that. I don't want it to look like it just come off a showroom floor. I want it to look like it's being used and took care of. So we got that part of it done. When I oil up my guns, I just use my fingertips with the oil on it, and get a pretty decent effect to it. And I've already dripped some oil down inside the mechanism, firing mechanism. Pretty good. Feels like it's got about a 3-pound trigger pull on it. So, and I know that in order to take this apart, you have to drive these pins from the right side. If you're looking down the barrel of it, from the right side to this side. because this is the side of the pen that'll have the serrated edges on it that locks it into place. And I don't think it's been shot that much to warrant taking it apart. So she done. What do you think? A lot better than what it looked like. I'm gonna wrap it up in this rag, keep the moisture and dirt off of it. That's done. Now what else we need to do? Now the little plastic part, I like putting a little bit of coating of oil on it because it's going to soak it up. It'll help prevent this from cracking and protect it from the UV. Why in the world would they put plastic parts on the shotgun is beyond me. I can see the butt plate being that way, but a lot of people like covering these things up with rubber pads, especially on a 12 gauge. So that way you don't tear your shoulder out. But that makes it look a lot better. Do the same thing with this. This is the one part that I couldn't believe that it was plastic, but I guess they had their reasons. There's one spot on it, like, let's see if I can get the light to hit it right in there. Look like it's got a little ding or something in it. I don't know if it's a factory thing or if it was dropped and made the ding in the plastic, but you can see it's just a little bit of oil. That's all I'm going to do to it. And it makes it shine up a little bit. But like I said, it'll protect it and hopefully it won't crack out or anything. But plastic parts, what do you expect? Let's see. I think now that I've got everything done, I'm going to experiment on my four-end piece, but I don't want to do the I'm gonna wipe all this wood down before I do the painting on it, by the way, with some denatured alcohol before I even give it any stain or anything. I think I'm gonna use a water-based stain. I'm gonna keep that up there out of the way without any fingerprints or oil on it. And what is that going to do? Oh yeah. Got a piece of wood right here. It's got wood grain in it. I'm going to sand it down just a little bit. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, now what I've got is a little bit of distilled water and 2 drops of Indian ink. And the reason why I'm using the Indian ink is because I want to enhance the dark grain of the wood and see if it'll soak into the darker parts and leave the lighter parts at a lighter gray type stain. Does that make any sense? And I know if I get this Indian ink on my hands, it's there for just a while. There ain't no washing it off. So hopefully this will do what I want it to do. drops of the Indian ink. Might have way too much water. That stuff goes a long way. We'll sit there and let that dry, and we'll look at it when it dries and see what we can do. That's what it looked like on this side. That's what it looks like on this side. Not impressed. Try something else. Now I'm going to take a chance. I'm just using the Indian ink and see what happens. Not quite what I wanted. This water base, I hope it's clumping up. Let me let her dry and see what she does. Maybe I can get what I want out of that.